Hi everybody, welcome to this week's yoga class. If you'd like to gather anything you need around you, so blocks, straps, make sure you have a comfortable space around you, and then we're going to start off with some pranayama practice, and we're going to be laying down on our backs, so make yourselves comfortable. You can have your knees bent, soles of the feet on the floor, and take the feet a good distance apart so the knees can come together. Take a moment to tuck the tailbone under, feel that the lower part of the back comes a little closer to the floor. Make sure the shoulders are comfortable behind your back, and just have your arms resting down by your sides or place them on the abdomen, whichever is most comfortable. Create some space in the back of the neck by taking the crown of the head away from the shoulders, and then gently close your eyes. Breathing in and out through your nose if that's okay for you. And beginning to bring the attention to the breath. Noticing the rate of the breath. Noticing the depth of the breath. Noticing whereabouts you feel the breath. Allowing this to be a time to tune into your body, into your breath, into your yoga practice. So giving yourself the next hour and a bit to focus completely on your yoga. Allow your awareness to be completely with the breath. Any other thoughts that come to mind, just let them fade away slowly. Bring your awareness back to your breathing. Good. We're going to take a couple of deeper, longer breaths, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. So take a nice big in breath through the nose and let it go with a sigh out of the mouth. Once more, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Let it go. And as you breathe out, feel that anything you need to let go, whether it's physical or emotional or brain activity, just let that go with the out breath. And then returning to a nice, gentle, rhythmic breath in and out through the nose. Good. So know that we're going to be using the arms in a moment. So if you need to move yourself around, make sure you have space out to the sides and also space overhead. So I'm just going to shimmy down my mat a little bit to make sure that I can take my arms overhead. Good. And once you've found that position, take your arms down by your sides with the palms facing down. So your hands are down by your hips, palms facing down, your eyes are closed if that's okay for you. And we're going to start to take the awareness to the upper abdominal area. So if you take a deep in-breath and think about that, taking the breath all the way down to your belly button, that's the space we want to be thinking about when we think about the upper abdomen. So really think about that breath in the very bottom of the lungs. And continue to breathe into that space. And next time you breathe in, allow the arms to float up in front of you, fingertips pointing to the ceiling. And as you breathe out, the arms gently float back down by your sides. So breathing in, thinking about the breath in the upper abdomen, and breathing out, arms float down to your sides. Continue to breathe in that way. Using the rhythm of your own breath. And once you become familiar with the arm movement, feel as though it's the breath that guides the arms. So the in-breath allows the arms to float up, and the out-breath carries the arms gently back down to your sides. the awareness in the upper abdominal area. Arms floating up as you breathe in and floating back down to your sides as you breathe out. Good. And now we're going to take the awareness into the mid-chest. So if you'd just like to place your hands on your rib cage, take them round to the side so you're cupping your rib cage with your hands. And think of the mid-chest as this region all the way around the middle of the lungs, middle of the rib cage. Just taking a few breaths in and out here. So the feeling, the physical feeling in the body when we think about the mid-chest is the rib cage lifting up and out as you breathe in and then coming back down as you breathe out. And with the arm movement, we're going to start with the arms out in front of us, fingertips pointing to the ceiling, palms facing. And when we breathe into the mid-chest, we're going to take the arms out to the sides. And as you breathe in, the arms come back into the centre, so the fingertips are pointing to the ceiling, palms together. Breathing in, mid-chest, take the arms out to the sides, backs of the hands to the floor. And breathing out, back to the centre. Continue to breathe in that way into your mid-chest. Breathing in, ribcage expanding, the arms come down to your sides. Breathing out, ribcage contracting, drawing the arms back into the centre. Once more, when you're familiar with the movement, feel that it's the breath that moves the arms. The arm movement simply becomes a secondary element of your breathing. Mid-chest breathing. Good. And the next time you breathe out, relax the arms down, taking the awareness now to the upper chest. So if you place your hands just above your collarbones, breathing in and breathing out. There's not much movement here because there's lots of bone, but you may feel a gentle lift and lower with your hand on your upper chest as you breathe in and as you breathe out. And with the arm movement, once again, we're going to start with the arms out in front, palms facing, fingertips to the ceiling. As we breathe into the upper chest, the arms come all the way overhead, so the thumbs moving down towards the floor above your head. And as you breathe out, the arms come back in front of you. Breathing in, arms overhead, thumbs towards the floor. And breathing out, fingertips to the ceiling once more. Breathing in, upper chest. Breathing out, upper chest. So the in-breath starts the upper chest to lift, causing the arms to come up and over. And the out-breath, the upper chest falls back down into the centre, drawing the arms back overhead. Once again, feeling that the arm movement is simply a consequence of your breath. Continuing to breathe in that way, breathing into the upper chest and breathing out from the upper chest. Arms moving in time, completely in tune with the breathing. The next time you breathe out, allow the arms to float all the way down by your sides. Just allow them to rest with the palms facing up. Keep your eyes closed, but allow your breathing to be completely natural. So don't direct the breath, just allowing the breath to flow wherever it naturally flows. And taking a few moments to notice any changes in your breathing. Any changes in the rate of the breath, the depth of the breath. And gently open your eyes, take a stretch out. Draw your knees up onto your chest. Roll over onto your right hand side. Use your hands to gently lift yourselves up and come onto all fours. So coming into cat position. The wrists are under the shoulders, the knees are under the hips. And just begin to gently rock backwards and forwards so the shoulders are moving in front of the wrists and then behind the wrists. Spreading the fingers, feeling that all of the hand, the palm of the hand is in contact with the floor, especially the ball of the index finger, which has a tendency to lift. Keep all of the balls of your fingers down in contact with the mat. Good. Come to a neutral cat now, and we'll take some cat breaths. So as we breathe in, we're going to lift the tailbone to the sky. Roll the shoulders back and down. Squeeze the shoulder blades together behind your back and allow the head to lift. As you breathe out, we're tucking the tailbone, rounding the back. So the upper back's pushing to the ceiling, pushing through your hands, and the head comes down between the arms. Breathing in, starting from the tailbone, lifting the tailbone, squeezing the shoulder blades together, lifting the head. Breathing out, tuck the tailbone under, lift the spine to the ceiling, push through the hands and allow the head to come between the arms. So continue to move on your own breath, allowing the breath to travel up the spine from the tailbone to the crown of the head. After a while, perhaps feeling that the spine becomes a little looser, and you can begin to feel the movement in the different parts of the back. Starting from the lumbar spine, then the mid, and then the upper back, and finally the neck. See if you can keep the arms straight, so avoid the temptation to bend too much. So staying strong, a gentle strength, and feel this pillar from your wrists, your elbows, your shoulders. As soon as you start to bend the elbows, that pillar breaks down and you're using more effort to hold the posture in place. So encourage the eyes of the elbows forwards, the arms stay straight as you move through your cat breathing. Lovely. Come to a neutral cat now. So feel there's a gentle tone in your abdomen, so you're drawing the belly button in towards the spine. We're going to thread the needle, so lift the right hand from the floor and thread it between the left arm and the left thigh. Back of the hand's going to be down on the floor as you bend the left elbow and allow the entire right arm and the right side of the face to come down onto the floor. Feel that you have equal weight through both knees, so avoid the temptation to swing the hips over. Keep both hips over the knees. So a nice gentle twist through the body, through the spine. Make sure your neck's comfortable, so feel free to move to make the neck comfortable. There's no need to be in any discomfort here. Push into the left hand to lift up. And then let's go to the other side. So left hand, back of the left hand onto the floor, thread it between the right arm and the right leg. Keep the hips level once more, avoid the temptation to swing the hips over, and feel that you can be comfortable in the neck. On the next in-breath, push into the right hand, coming back into cat pose. Gently walk the hands away from the knees. I'd like you to have a feeling of lift still in the belly. Keep the hips over the knees as you walk the hands forwards. You can tell if the hips have gone back or forwards because you'll feel that the weight is going through a different part of your knee. The arms are still active and straight, the hands are planted down on the floor, and we're going to sink the chest down towards the floor. You can gaze down towards the floor or up towards your fingers, whichever feels better in the neck. Keep the belly drawn in gently, so we're avoiding too much arching in the lumbar spine, and just softening through the armpits, through the shoulders. Gently walk the hands back in towards your knees, and then coming with your hips on your heels. Good. Gently walk the hands away once more, come into cat, tuck the toes under, swing the hips back to the heels. Push through your hands so that the knees lift from the floor, and then keep that momentum going, lift the hips up. And then stepping forward, you can take as many steps as you need to come forwards towards your hands. Take your hands to your hips, bend the knees, and coming into a standing position, into Tadasana. So come towards the front of your mats, and we're going to work through 5 Surya Namaskar A, 5 sun salutations. We start in Tadasana with the big toe joints towards each other. Lift the toes, spread the toes, and then allow them to come down on the floor. Unstick your heels, so gently coming up onto the balls of your feet, and as you come down, bring the outer edges of the feet down and then the heels, keeping the balls of the feet steady and down as well. So we're creating a nice, stable foundation. Draw the belly in, lift the upper chest, shoulders are back and down away from the ears. You've got a nice length in the back of the neck, almost as though somebody were lifting you up through the crown of your head. Bring your hands to prayer position at the heart center and begin to tune into your breathing. So remember that the sun salutations are a sequence of movement on the breath, so we need to be aware of the breath all the time. Let's breathe in together and breathe out together. On the next in-breath, lower the hands, lift them up to the sky, lift the gaze, if that's okay, in the neck. As you breathe out, you can soften the knees, Or you can keep the knees straight. Take the hands to the floor, tuck the chin in. Uttanasana. As you breathe in, lift the tailbone and lift the gaze and the heart and look forwards. And as you breathe out, draw the belly in, plant the hands down on the floor and either jump or step back into plank. And then coming slightly forward into chaturanga with the elbows bent, elbows are over the wrists. As you breathe in, we're going to scoop the chest forward, come onto the tops of the feet, lift, expand the chest and lift it through the arms. It's fine to lift, to bend the elbows and come into cobra. As you breathe out, we're going to come back over the toes, push the hips high, coming into downward facing dog. Breathing in here for 1. And breathing out for 1, adjusting the hands and the feet so they're shoulder width and hip distance apart. Breathing in for 2. Breathing out for 2, spreading the fingers, pushing the ball of the index finger down. Breathing in for 3. Breathing out for 3, gently pushing the floor away through your hands. Breathing in for 4. And breathing out for 4, feeling all of the hand in contact with the floor. Breathing in for 5. And as you breathe out, we're going to come up onto the toes, begin to move the shoulders over the wrists once more, gaze forwards, and then jump or step the feet towards your hands. Breathing in, lift the gaze, create some length in your spine, and then as you breathe out, take your forward fold, draw your belly in. Breathing in, we're coming up, so lead with the heart, soften the knees if that feels good for your lower back, lift the fingers to the sky, and breathing out, bring them back to your heart center. Number 2, breathing in, reaching up to the sky, and breathing out, Uttanasana, forward fold. Breathing in, lift the gaze, lift the heart. Breathing out, if you're stepping back, step back with the opposite foot this time, or jumping back, push through the hands all the time. Breathing in, upward facing dog. And breathing out, back over your toes, downward facing dog. Breathing in here for 1. And breathing out for 1. Feeling that you can soften your armpits towards your toes. Breathing in for 2. Breathing out for 2, wrapping your triceps around to your ears. Breathing in for 3. Breathing out for 3, feeling that you're comfortable in the neck. Breathing in for 4. And breathing out for 4. The gaze can be back towards the toes. Breathing in for 5. And as you breathe out, lift up onto the toes, gaze forward, shoulders forwards, jumping or stepping back towards your hands. Breathing in, create length, create space. Breathing out, forward fold, keep that space with you. Breathing in, coming all the way up. And breathing out, back to your center. Number 3, breathing in, stretching up. And breathing out, taking it down to the floor, Uttanasana. Breathing in, extending, creating space, pushing through the hands. Breathing out, plank or chaturanga dandasana. Breathing in, upward facing dog or cobra. Expand the chest through the arms. Breathing out, downward facing dog. Breathing in for 1. And breathing out for 1, lift the tailbone nice and high. Breathing in for 2. And breathing out for 2, length down the back of the legs. Breathing in for 3. And breathing out for 3, maximum length from the sitting bones to the heels. Breathing in for 4. Breathing out for 4, take the heels back and down. Breathing in for 5. And as you breathe out, come up onto the toes, gaze forward, shoulders forward, jumping or stepping back towards the hands. Breathing in, lifting and lengthening. Breathing out, forward fold. Breathing in, coming all the way up. Stretch up to the sky. And breathing out, back to Tadasana. Number 4, breathing in. And breathing out, softening as you forward fold. Breathing in, creating space, creating length, draw the belly in. And breathing out, jumping or stepping back. Plank or chaturanga. Breathing in, scooping forwards, lifting the heart up, lift the gaze. And breathing out, downward facing dog. Breathing in for 1. Breathing out for 1. Breathing in for 2. And breathing out for 2. Breathing in for 3. And breathing out for 3. Make any micro adjustments you need to. Breathing in for 4. Breathing out for 4. Breathing in for 5. And as you breathe out, come up onto the toes, gaze forward, jumping or stepping back towards the hands. Breathing in, lift the heart, lift the gaze. Breathing out, forward fold. Breathing in, coming all the way up. And breathing out, prayer position, hands to the heart. Number 5, breathing in. And breathing out, forward fold, hands to the floor. Breathing in, lift the heart, lift the gaze. And breathing out, jumping or stepping back. Plank or chaturanga. As soon as you take your feet back, push through the hands. Lifting into upward facing dog. And breathe out over the toes, downward facing dog. Breathing in for 1. And breathing out for 1. Breathing in for 2. Breathing out for 2, using Ujjayi breath if that helps. Breathing in for 3. Breathing out for 3, a gentle sound in the throat as you breathe. Breathing in for 4. Breathing out for 4. Breathing in for 5. And as you breathe out, come up onto the toes, gaze forwards, jumping or stepping back towards your hands. Breathing in, lift the heart. Breathing out, keep that length in the spine as you forward fold. Tuck the chin, soft in the neck. Breathing in, coming all the way up. And breathing out, take it back to your heart. And just spend a few breaths here. Allowing your breath to settle. Noticing any heat, energy, space created by your sun salutation practice. Okay, so coming to the centre of your mats, going to do a series of standing postures, including all of our Virabhadrasana, our warrior postures today. But we're going to start with Utkatasana, mighty pose. I'd like you to bring your knees and your ankles together. Take your hands to your hips and be aware of your lumbar spine. Okay, so we naturally have a tendency sometimes to stick our tailbones out like this, which is fine if that's comfortable, but if that's less than comfortable and you feel any pinching or compression, we need to tuck the tailbone under. So it's this movement of the belly drawing in, engaging your core muscles, and the lower back begins to straighten out a little bit. So just be cautious of that. Have your hands to your hips, knees and ankles together, and then soften your knees. So you'll notice that with the shoulders still over your hips, your knees won't bend that far. So we're going to take a quarter forward fold and allow ourselves to bend a little deeper into the knees. We want to keep a lift in the upper chest. So avoid a rounding like this. Keep the chest lifted. And even just doing this small movement, you may begin to feel some of these back muscles activate. Keep the knees bent. Keep the upper chest lifted. Squeeze the shoulder blades together behind your back. So with your elbows bent, it's feeling that you can draw your elbows towards each other behind your back. Keep the upper chest lifted, keep your knees bent. Everything's going to stay exactly where it is. We're simply going to float the arms up towards the sky. You can bring the hands together in prayer position if that feels okay, otherwise have the arms shoulder width apart. Lift the thumbs up to the sky, the gaze can follow the thumbs if that's okay in the neck, otherwise look straight forwards. Keep the knees bent, keep the shoulders squeezing together behind your back. Encouraging the hands together now. Keep the thumbs lifted, keep the knees bent. Remember to tuck under with the tailbone if there's any discomfort in the lumbar spine. And breathe. Breathing in for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And as you breathe out, take the hands back to prayer position, push through the feet, and coming into Tadasana once more. Fantastic. We're going to step towards the fronts of your mats now. Start with Tadasana. We're going to step the right foot behind and allow the heel to kick in a little bit. So we're about 45 degrees, certainly no more. And we want both hips to be facing forwards. If you step the foot too far back, you might find that your hips go off at an angle. Step the feet closer together, both hips facing forward over the short edge of the mat. Soften the leading leg, encouraging the knee over the ankle. Same thing as with Utkatasana. Breathe in and lift the upper chest. Be cautious of the lumbar spine, drawing the belly in to decrease any discomfort there. Breathing in, lift. Breathing out, roll the shoulders back and down. Squeezing the shoulder blades together behind your back. So once again, if you put your hands on your hips, you can draw the elbows together behind your back and feel that that's happening from your shoulder blades. Lift in the upper chest, push back into the heel of the back foot, and then once more floating the arms up to the sky. Gaze can follow the thumbs if that feels okay. Bring the palms of the hands together. Virabhadrasana 1. Each time you breathe in, feel the hands lift. Each time you breathe out, soften the front knee, roll the shoulders away from the ears. Allow the hands to separate, gaze comes forwards. Keep the legs where they are, but allow the body to tilt from the hips so that you have a straight line from your hands to your shoulders, to your hips, to your back heel. We're projecting energy through our fingertips. Come up onto the toes of the back foot, begin to straighten the standing leg and lift up into Virabhadrasana 3. If your balance is good, you can tilt over the hips, coming into our capital T shape. Energy through the back toes, through the fingers. Whenever you're ready to come down, we're coming down in reverse. So gently soften the standing leg. The back toes come down, lift the hands up, plant the heel down, Virabhadrasana 1. Hands to the hips and stepping forwards. Take your own time, stay in the balance as long as you're comfortable. Remember that coming out of our postures is just as important as going in, so we need to be controlled and mindful. And when you're ready, we're going to go to the other side. So stepping back with the left foot. Once more, find the right position for your feet. You want both hips facing forward. Soften the leading leg. And as you soften the leading leg, check in with this back heel. Make sure it's still planted down. Breathe in, lift the upper chest. Breathe out, roll the shoulders back and down. Any discomfort, remember in the lumbar spine, tucking under, drawing the core muscles in towards the spine. Otherwise, you continue to breathe and lift the collarbones. Breathe out, shrug the shoulders down and back. Allow the arms to float up to the sky. Follow them with the gaze if that's okay in the neck. It's fine to gaze forward if that feels better for you. Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Now gaze forward if it wasn't already. Pivot slightly from the hips so that we have that line of energy from the fingertips to the shoulders to the hip to the back heel. Begin to come up onto the toes of the back foot. Keep that line of energy, begin to straighten your standing leg, and then perhaps begin to pivot. As the shoulders come down towards the floor, the hip and the back leg begins to lift. And whenever you're ready to come down, soften the standing leg, the back toes come down onto the floor, then the back heel. We're coming briefly into Virabhadrasana 1 once more. Take the hands to the hips and stepping forwards. Back into Tadasana, just allow your breath to settle. And coming to the centre of the mat, take the feet wide apart. We're going to come into Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. So with the feet wide apart, lift the heel of your right foot, turn it out strongly. So we're swiveling on the toes and then plant that heel down. It's important that we keep the strength in this back leg, so don't allow that knee to bend. Keep driving the energy through that back heel. Turn the toes of the left foot out to 90 degrees. Breathing in, sweep the arms up so they're parallel to the floor. And as you breathe out, soften the left leg. So take some time to get the positioning right with your legs. We want the left knee to be over the left ankle, and eventually we want this thigh to be parallel to the floor. Okay, so that might not happen straight away, but if you think you really need to keep the feet wide and a deep bend in this knee for that to happen. Breathing in, sweep the arms up. We're going to keep the shoulders over the hips. So if you find yourself drifting forward, just draw yourself back. Gaze is over your left fingers. Keeping that nice right angle with the front leg, keeping the energy through the heel of the back foot and the outer edge of that back foot. And now we're going to take a couple of movements on the breath. So next time you breathe in, turn the left hand palm face up, coming into reverse warrior. So taking the left hand to the sky, the right hand to the back leg. And breathing out back to Virabhadrasana 2. Breathing in, reverse warrior, take a side stretch. And breathing out, Virabhadrasana 2. Breathing in, reverse warrior. And breathing out, back to warrior 2. And now breathing in, push through the front foot to straighten the leg. Realign the feet. And we'll go to the other side. So turning the heel of the left foot out, toes of the right foot at 90 degrees. So if when you bend this leg, your knee comes naturally in towards your big toe, encourage the knee open. But if the effort to do that is quite significant, then just turn the toes in a little so that the knee stays in line with the big toe. So keep softening that knee. Remember, nice deep bend in this front leg. The hips are flexible, chest, shoulders over the long edge of the mat. Sweep the arms up. Gaze over your right fingers. Strong foundations. Remember that you're a warrior. Keeping the shoulders above the hips, drawing yourself back if you need to. Energy through that back leg. And then let's take a few movements on the breath. So as you breathe in, lifting the right hand to the ceiling, left hand back to the back leg. Breathing out, shoulders back to parallel. Breathing in, reverse warrior. Nice side stretch up the side of that body. Breathing out, warrior 2. Breathing in once more. And breathing out, Virabhadrasana 2. Good. Breathe in, push through that front foot to lift you up. Turn the feet, pointing forwards. Good. Keep the feet wide. We're going to come into Parsvakonasana now. So exactly the same foot positioning as with warrior 2. So take the heel of the right foot out strongly. Toes of the left at 90 degrees. Once again, allow the hips to move. Keep the chest and the shoulders parallel to the long edge of the mat and sweep your arms up. Breathing in, then breathing out, softening that leading leg. Good. Take some time to move, find your right position, feel stable and grounded. Breathing in once more and breathing out. This time we're going to stretch into the left fingertips. Take the left elbow to the left knee. Use your right hand and trace a line from your elbow to your shoulder. And as you move across the upper chest, feel that you're drawing your chest open, drawing this top shoulder over the bottom shoulder, and then extend the arm overhead. We're looking for a line of energy from the heel to the hip, to the shoulder, to the fingertips. Your gaze can be up towards the ceiling, inside your arm, up towards your fingertips, or if that doesn't feel great in the neck, gaze forwards or straight down. So if all's well, you might want to lift the elbow from the knee and place it on the floor. Turn the palm face up. Nice big in-breath to draw us back up. Push through the front foot. Realign the feet. Good. Let's go to the other side. So heel of the left, turn it out. Toes of the right, 90 degrees. Breathing in, sweep the arms up. Breathing out. Soften the knee and find the right foot position for you. Breathing in once more here. Breathing out, stretch into the right hand, right elbow to right knee. Breathing in, remember to open the chest, stack one shoulder above the other, and then extend the arm overhead. Feel as though somebody were drawing you out through your top fingers. So we're really extending this arm away. If you want to take the hand to the floor, feel free to take the hand to the floor. But if you do find that your chest starts to collapse and you can't draw it back up easily, then take the elbow back onto the knee. Regulating your breath. Turn the palm face up. Nice big in-breath. Push through the foot. Realign the feet. Good. Jumping or stepping the feet together. Turning over the long edge of your mat. Bending your knees, bringing your hips down onto your heels. Folding over your legs and extending your arms out in front of you. Place the hands on the floor. Spread the fingers. All of the balls of the fingers down in contact with the mat. And then lift your hips to the ceiling and coming into downward facing dog. So, intelligent hands, remember. Push through your hands and begin to wrap your elbows, your triceps around in towards your ears. Let's just take a little bit of time to walk the dog. And as you walk the dog, bend one knee and extend and lengthen down the back of the opposite leg. Feel that you can maximize the stretch from your sit bone all the way down to your heel. And then perhaps take that a little bit further. Allow the hips to move and take a side stretch up the side of that body. So the side of the body where the leg is straight. And then we bend the opposite leg. Allow that hip to come down and take a side stretch up the side of the body. So moving the hips, moving the knee. And then bringing yourselves back into downward facing dog. Soften both knees a little. Push through the hands. And then feel that with the knees soft, you can close the angle between your belly and your thighs. So we're opening the shoulders. Keep your open shoulders as they are And then begin to take the heels back and perhaps down towards the floor. For those of you who are really open in the shoulders, avoid too much arch in the lumbar spine. So you may end up with a kind of curve and a back arch in downward facing dog. We want to avoid that. And to avoid that, you want to draw the belly in, draw the rib cage in, and feel that you should feel active in the shoulders. Good, come up onto the toes, allow the knees to come down to the floor, untuck the toes, allow the hips to rest down onto the floor, bring your forehead either onto the floor or to make fists and rest your forehead on your fists, or you can rest your forehead on blocks and allow your hands to come back to your feet. And just take a few breaths here. Good. And then from here, extend the hands away from you. So we're coming into an extended child's pose. But keep your forehead down, either on the floor or on blocks if you had blocks. The hips are staying down by your heels or wherever they were before, okay? So the arms are active and straight, your forehead is relaxed down, and your hips are relaxing down by your heels. We're just going to begin to strengthen in the shoulders by lifting one hand from the floor. It may not lift at all, it may simply be a thought, but notice what muscles activate when that happens. We don't want anything else to lift. So if you lift the hand and everything else comes up, that's defeated the object. So the forehead needs to stay down, the hips need to stay down, and then we lift the opposite hand. And resting down once more. Go to the first side, forehead down, remember hips down, just the hand lifting. Keep the arms straight. And then go to the other side. Good, and rest. Look towards your hands. Come up onto your knees, tuck the toes under, swing the hips back down, push through the hands, lift the knees into downward facing dog. Good. So we want to stay stable through both hands, pushing through both shoulders. We're going to lift the right knee into the chest, and then carefully, without kicking anything behind you, swing the leg up behind and extend the leg away. Keep pushing through both hands, remember both shoulders equal. And breathe here. Bring that knee back into the chest, take the foot to the floor. Left knee into the chest, push through both hands and extend that leg away. So check in with both arms, are they still straight? Or has one elbow bent? Keep both hands, both shoulders active. And then bring that knee into the chest, place the foot down into downward facing dog, come up onto the toes, take the knees to the floor, untuck the toes and rest in child's pose. Extend your hands forward once more, so in extended child's pose. This time we're going to draw the body through, so allow the elbows to come down, step the feet and the knees back, and laying yourself down on your mats. So coming onto the front of your bodies. We're going to draw our elbows beneath our shoulders. So coming into Sphinx pose. The forearms are parallel, the hands are flat on the floor, and the elbows are directly underneath the shoulders. We're being cautious in the lumbar spine. Just like with Utkatasana, if you feel any pinching in the lumbar spine, then walk your elbows forwards of your shoulders a bit more. Okay? So we want to push through the forearms. So if you collapse into the shoulders, you lose your neck. And we don't want to lose our neck because that's uncomfortable. So push into the shoulders, feel the neck is nice and long, keep it that way. And then think about your shoulder blades behind your back and draw your shoulder blades together behind your back. So we're lifting, pushing through the forearms so that we're lifted away from the floor, and then squeezing the shoulder blades together behind our back. Imagine that you had a tennis ball in between your shoulder blades and you were trying to stop it from rolling away, so you're holding it in place with your shoulder blades, gripping the ball behind your back. And then feel that you could gradually begin to take the ball down your spine, still gripping with your shoulder blades, taking this ball just an inch or two further down your spine. Be comfortable in your neck. So depending on how far you've lifted up, your gaze is either going to be down towards the floor or it may be out in front of you. But there's no need to lift the chin. Have the neck in line with the spine, the curve of the spine. And then take your elbows out to the sides and allow your body to rest down. You can either rest your forehead on the floor or your hands, or take your face to one side and take a few breaths on that side before turning your head to the other side. So we're going to work with the next stage, which is Cobra pose, Bhujangasana. So if you found Sphinx quite intense, then feel free to stay and repeat Sphinx. Otherwise, we're going to come into Cobra. We're going to have the forehead down on the floor. We're going to place the hands underneath the shoulders and grip the body with the elbows. So the elbows want to stay in towards your body. As we breathe in, we're going to lift the head, lift the hands, and see how much of the upper chest you can unpeel. How many ribs can you lift off of the floor? And breathe out, coming down. Breathe in, lift the head, lift the hands, squeeze the elbows together behind your back. Think about that tennis ball behind you, and releasing down. Once more, breathing in, lift the head, lift the hands, squeeze the elbows behind you, squeeze your shoulder blades. Remember that tennis ball. Take the tennis ball down behind your back and releasing down. So this time as you breathe in, lift the head, keep the hands down, keep the elbows glued into your sides, but perhaps lift a little higher. You don't need to lift too high. The elbows are still deeply bent, the shoulder blades squeezing together behind your back. Feel that you can push your chest forward as your shoulder blades squeeze together behind your back, and then relaxing down. Take a few breaths with your forehead on the floor or your head to one side. And let's lift once more into Cobra pose. So take the hands underneath the shoulders, draw the elbows in. Lift the forehead, keep the hands down, lift the chest. Take the shoulders away from the ears, squeeze the shoulder blades together behind your back, squeeze the elbows in and lift the chest forwards. And breathe here. And then slowly releasing down. Keep the hands underneath your shoulders. Lift your bottom into the air. Keep your elbows squeezed in. Push into your hands to lift you up. Draw your knees in and bring your hips all the way back onto your heels. Lengthen your body down towards the floor. The forehead either comes to the floor or to blocks or books if you have books. Resting your hands back by your heels, by your feet, and allowing the shoulders to feel heavy. Gravity drawing your back muscles down towards the floor. Slowly breathing in and coming up. Untucking your feet and coming into Dandasana, staff pose. So in staff pose, we want to have our shoulders above our hips. If you find that you begin to fall off the back of your sitting bones, then sit yourself up on a couple of blocks or books, whatever you have to hand, just to give you a little bit of height, and it should help you to keep your shoulders above your hips. The legs are gently active and the toes are pointing up to the ceiling. Feel as though you can draw your outer edges of your feet back towards you. So avoid the temptation for the feet to come, or the soles of the feet to come towards each other. Actively draw the outer edges of the feet back. Good. And then we're going to bend the right leg, take the right foot onto the outside of the left, interlace the fingers around the knee and sit tall. Take a breath here, just make sure this foot's stable on the floor. Coming up onto your sitting bones, taking your right hand behind you. Breathing in, sit tall. So we're going to take a twist in towards this bent leg. So we need to get the belly past the leg. So draw the belly in actively. It's fine to come away from the leg a little bit and then lift back up so you're nice and straight. Wrap the left arm around the right knee and use that arm to draw that knee back into the centre line. Squeeze your belly in. Take your belly around, take your rib cage around, take your shoulders, and then finally your head turns to look over your shoulder. There's no strain in the neck. If you've come around far enough, feel free to take this hand further round, and you can also release the outside of the elbow to the outside of that knee. And once again, use that elbow against the knee to draw you down deeper into the twist. So keep any micro movements you need to keep deepening the twist. Breathing into the sides of the body, into the upper chest. And then releasing around. Releasing that leg back into Dandasana, sitting nice and tall. And then the left leg, bend and take the left foot onto the outside of the right leg. Breathe in, interlace the fingers around the knee and sit tall. Breathing out, take the left hand behind. Draw the belly in and start that twist from it deep inside your belly. Wrap the right arm around that left knee and use the arm to draw the leg into the centre line. Breathing in, sit tall. Breathing out, draw the belly in. Get the belly into the twist first, and then the rib cage, then the chest, then the shoulders, and then the head looks over. Toes of the right foot pointing up to the ceiling. If you take the outside of the elbow to the outside of the leg, these fingers are active. Be aware of every part of your body. And then breathing in, undoing the twist, undoing that leg, back into Dandasana. Now bend both knees. Bring the soles of the feet together. We're not coming into a full cobbler pose, so keep the heels away from the pelvis in this diamond shape with your legs. Have a rock from side to side to come off your sitting bones. So we're tilting over the top of your sitting bones and allowing everything just to relax down. So allow gravity to do the work. We're not pulling with the arms. The shoulders are relaxed, the head rests down. The weight of the arms and the upper body draw you down into the forward fold. So know that if this diamond leg shape doesn't work for you and doesn't allow you to fold forward, it's fine to straighten out the legs, take a forward fold here. You can have the legs together. It's completely optional. This way is quite a nice way of opening up in the hips and allowing the body to fold, but find a relaxed forward fold that works for you, where you don't have to pull or push, and just allow everything to feel heavy and relaxing down. Very slowly drawing yourselves back up. Take your hands onto the outside of the knees, draw the knees together. And then take a few moments to grab a blanket, grab any socks, jumpers, eye pillows, whatever you need for your relaxation. Go and have it to hand. So, having a lie down on your backs, coming into Shavasana. Making yourselves completely comfortable. Taking a moment to adjust your tailbone. So tucking your tailbone under, bringing your lower back a little closer to the floor. Moving your shoulder blades behind you so they feel completely comfortable against the floor. And take a moment to create some space in the back of your neck. Moving the crown of the head away from the shoulders. Perhaps tucking the chin gently in towards the throat. Good. Have your arms a comfortable distance from your sides with the palms facing up. And your legs extended away from your hips along the mat, taking your feet a comfortable distance apart. Know that if you want to have the knees bent, that's absolutely fine. If you do have the knees bent, then take the feet a good distance apart and allow the knees to come together so the legs feel fully supported. No effort required to keep them there. The eyes gently closed as you prepare to become completely relaxed. So beginning to relax now, using the breath to help you. Noticing on each out-breath how the body softens. And just allow this to happen. Feel the weight of your body sinking into the mat each time you breathe out. Starting with the feet and the legs, consciously letting go with each exhalation. Becoming aware of your hips. Feel them softening and relaxing with each out-breath. Allowing the abdomen, the chest, the whole of the back to sink into the floor, using your out-breath to help you. Becoming aware of your shoulders and arms, letting go as you move your awareness up your body. Bringing your awareness now to your neck and your head. Feeling totally relaxed and allowing gravity to take all of the weight of your body into your mat. Becoming aware of the thoughts in your mind, and know that the purpose of yoga is to still the mind. So step back from becoming involved with those thoughts. Acknowledge that they're there, but let them be. avoid the temptation of getting involved. The classical yoga texts tell us that yoga is to control the still, the swirling currents of thoughts in the mind. If you can control the thoughts that arise and still the mind completely, you're able to observe the world more clearly and directly. And that by directly concentrating on the senses, the mind is drawn inwards, away from outside distractions, allowing us to still our chattering thoughts. So this is what we will do, beginning to becoming aware of the senses, bringing your awareness first to your sense of smell. So experience your sense of smell. The smell of your skin, your clothes, the smell of your room. Be totally aware of your sense of smell. Moving to your sense of taste. Experience your sense of taste. Run your tongue over the roof of your mouth. Perhaps swallow a couple of times. Become aware of the flavours you're tasting. Are they salty, sour, perhaps sweet? Become completely aware of your sense of taste. And keeping the eyes closed, soft behind the eyelids, take your awareness to your sense of sight. Experience your sense of sight. Lift your eyes upwards and take them back to your eyebrow centre. Look deep into the dark space that lies behind your closed eyes. Perhaps that space contains colours, shadows, textures, pinpricks of light. Is the space still, or does it move and dance in front of you? Be totally aware of your sense of sight. Now bring your awareness to your sense of hearing. Experience your sense of hearing. First, noises far away outside the room, and then closer sounds, those inside the room. My voice, your breath, your heartbeat. Become totally aware of your sense of hearing. Now bring your attention to your sense of touch. Experience your sense of touch. The contact your back is making with the floor, the weight of any blankets, coverings or clothes against your skin, the hair on your head or against your face, your breath as it passes through the tip of your nose. Be totally aware of your sense of touch. Now let your awareness settle at the space between your eyebrows, the space where your inner gaze naturally settles. For the next few minutes, Just be here. Know that my voice will bring you back at a time that's appropriate. For now, relaxing, resting. So now it's time to begin to bring your awareness back, becoming aware of the noises around you, noises outside the room, and noises closer inside the room. Breathing quietly and slowly, your body lying relaxed on the floor. Be aware of your whole body lying relaxed on the floor. Become aware of the floor and your body resting against it. Be totally aware of your body from the tip of your toes to the top of your head. Become aware of your breathing, gentle, calm, relaxed breath. And perhaps allow a gentle smile. Good. Feeling completely at peace, at one with the floor and with your surroundings. Becoming aware of the contact your body makes with the mat. And becoming aware of the space around you. Perhaps take a couple of deeper, longer breaths now, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Enjoy the feeling those in-breaths bring, feelings of energy, renewed vitality, and allow them to bring some movements back into the body, so the fingers, the toes, the hands and the feet. Perhaps moving the head from side to side and taking a stretch in any way that feels right for you. You can take your arms overhead, perhaps draw your knees up onto your chest. Know that if you're happy to stay relaxing for longer, no, that's absolutely fine. Coming out whenever you're ready. Otherwise, draw yourselves into a comfortable seated position. Bringing your hands to prayer position at the heart center. Namaste.